Hooray, here we are. All right, we're going to start with a poet who many of you know, many of you love. She, in many ways, typifies New York poetry, I think, in many ways, the downtown New York poetry scene. And really, not much more else to say. If she wants to talk more, she's more than welcome to. But please unmute yourself, Puma Perl.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew, and everyone here. And I believe Matthew gave me some directions of when to start, and I totally forgot whatever he said to me. So here we go. I'm going to begin with a poem I wrote on the shortly after Joe Biden was declared the winner of the election that he won, and kind of come up to the present with a couple of poems. Okay. So this is called We Won. Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2009. Barack Obama, our 44th president. I wrote a short poem called A Day of Great Hope. In New York City, reporters yelled into mics. People danced in Times Square and in Harlem and in nursing homes. Strangers hugged and shook hands. Today, November 7th, 2020, is a day of some hope and overwhelming relief. A weight lifts, and all I know is we won. I text it over and over to people I love. We won, we won, we won. Felix Hernandez plays Midnight Train to Georgia on the Rhythm Review. When I hear the words he's leaving, I surprise myself by bursting into tears, and I keep crying and I keep texting. We won, we won, we won. Lauren's in Port Authority waiting on a bus and she hasn't heard. Cynthia's out walking. She texts back, it's like getting out of jail. Juliet's on Grand Street with Diva. She said it exploded like the 7 p.m. cheers 100 times over. Roz is in a meeting in Florida and she repeats the same question. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Ingrid and Johan were on the FDR when a lone jogger charged down the path, waving a blue bandana, and everyone began to cheer and cry. And Joe texts back, whoopee, which for him is like a 21-gun salute. We won. We won, we won. And I can't wait to get outside, and I want to wear something blue, but everything in my closet is black. On a midnight t-shirt buying spree while watching the returns, I ordered one with a Lucinda Williams lyric across the front. You took my joy, I want it back. Perfect. For a moment, we've got it back. Later will come later. Once I'm out, it's unseasonably warm and I feel ridiculous in my black leather jacket. Eventually, I stick it in my bag. It's strangely quiet on my block and business as usual in Bodega Alley. Wheelchairs, wine, methadone. As I walk, it gets louder. A small brass band behind Trader Joe's, cars honking on Delancey Street. Not sure whether it's victory or traffic, but a handful of bicyclists and I wave and applaud anyway, and runners pump their fists high as they head towards the bridge. On Clinton, it's either victory or 70 degrees Saturday, and then I hit Stanton. Sanitation trucks honk their horns, music blasts from windows, waitresses lead cheers as they serve drinks outside. 5 girls on a radio dance on a fire escape in the building where I once lived on 7th Street. Up and down the block, people joined them, line dancing on the Lower East Side. Even the air heaves a collective sigh of relief. I go to the Avenue B flea, planning to spend every last cent in my pocket, and I do. Later, we sit outside Grupos on Avenue B, drinking beer and wine and eating pizza, blasting 80s music. The Roots, Jane's Addiction, Nina Cherry, even Madonna. Drivers slow down. They honk and wave. I've waited 4 years to dance, says Josephine. Everybody breathes. 1 week after Election Day, the right wing increases its grumbling. I pick up the dog and drive to the beach. Throughout my life, Coney Island's marked my most momentous experiences. I've fallen in and out of love on and off the Wonder Wheel. I've used drugs and gotten clean there, learned how to swim, drive, and work, attended more weddings and funerals than I could ever count. When I don't know where to go, it's where I go. Every grain of sand embedded in my heart as deeply as every Lower East Side street. Latin music plays on the pier. Diva wanders happily on the sand. I try to interest her in chasing a stick, but she no longer sees any point in it. So I pick it up and I write a love letter in the sand. We won. Okay, moving down a little bit here. Sorry. Okay, this is called Somebody's Angel. I moved over to New Year's Eve. I was often ambivalent about New Year's Eve. If I had plans to go out, a television show I'd seen 10 times suddenly became fascinating. My sinking, beat up brown couch, the most comfortable place in the universe. Or I had no plans and wish I did. Or I was out and wanted to go home. Or I was with someone, but not the right someone. Or it was the right someone, but it was the wrong shoes. Occasionally, it all aligned. In recent years, I thought less about it. There was somebody who cared where I was and what I was doing, and if I needed a friend or just another shot of whiskey. But you're gone now, and the fucking server ate up most of your emails. Even your comments on my published work have disappeared, and I don't know what happened to the manuscripts buried in your closet or the poems that never made it to the blog. No more holiday debates about the merits of the Twilight Zone versus the honeymooners. Baby, you're the greatest, always won out. You'd put on Dexter or Monk, order yourself a nice pork chop or a good steak, and let a poem marinate until the hands of the clock turn one more time. It's another year gone by. Getting older, you used to say, it all ain't so bad until it happens to you. You've become my junkyard baby, you wrote, my angel of the harbor. I'm hooked and thrashing at the same time. On New Year's Day morning, I decide to exercise, but it feels so corny that I sip an unfinished drink from the night before. And then I feel better until I lie down on the mat and get dizzy, so I go back to bed. But 15 minutes later, I'm eating a banana. It's in a perfect state of yellow, no longer hard and not too sweet. I try to finish the poem, but first I reread one of yours, sent to me before the fall. She curls into love, you wrote, like a clenched fist, releasing trust like a vagabond hitchhikes. There are no poems today that move me like yours do. Not my own, or the Paris Reviews, or the St. Mark's Poetry Projects. There's nobody unafraid to write my name, nobody messaging me with a longing for baseball and women who appreciate triple plays. For those who are thirsty today, have a drink. For those who are hungry, eat a poem. Later, it will rain, washing bits of 2020 into the gutter and down the drain, and little by little, a new year begins. Everything is something. The world as we know it has ended. Early in the mornings, I take pictures to prove that the sun still rises and the river moves and the ferry boat honks its horn as it sets out for Brooklyn, one passenger aboard, maybe three. Despite the Camp Auschwitz t-shirts, despite the Nazi nightmares, despite white zombie bugs and cretins climbing buildings, the river flows and the ferry boat honks its horn. I try to make poetry out of the anti-poetry. What the fuck do I write this week, I asked her. Nothing, he responds. Don't write anything. Submit a blank page like the Beatles' White Album. Great idea, I tell him. Do you mind if I steal it? But instead, I add his blank thoughts to my blank page. All day, I look out the window and wait. Wait for the dog. Wait for the antifogger to arrive in the mail. Wait for the vaccine appointment. Wait to get through the day. Wait for impeachment and inauguration. Wait for the sun. It's all as complicated as a trip to buy groceries and as simple as beginning the next moment in time. The world is not the one we knew or the one we acknowledged. Organize masks and sanitizers, grapple with websites, carve some poetry out of the anti-poetry, because what else is left? Everything is something, says Cynthia. The dog arrives, the river moves, the sun sets a few minutes earlier than last week, and the world as we know it spins, and it's everything, and it's something as it spins and spins and spins. Okay, this is my last one. It's called After Inauguration. There will be poems, images recalling Michelle Obama, purple, Jill Biden, periwinkle blue, Bernie's brown mittens, and sounds, the sounds of Lady Gaga's dove, Pat Smear's guitar, the lyrics of Hallelujah, the voice of the brave and beautiful Amanda Gorman, forming syllables without hesitation, not even on the R's. Poems, heartfelt, pointed, political, occasional, like fireworks. Some explode, some are duds. There will be joy and tears and determination and disappointment and criticism and hope and cynicism. I wrote a poem watching Obama's first inauguration, like I told you, called it A Day of Great Hope. And I remember a commentator saying, it doesn't matter where you watched it, as long as you didn't watch it alone. Today, we are together and alone, although some are together, and some are alone and alone. I begin to write, but get derailed after Diva steps on the surge protector and pulls the cable out of the modem. Not sure how she managed to fold her little old body under the desk in search of a lone crumb dropped a year on a lifetime ago, but it doesn't matter why or how, because in this stumbling world, we move on quickly, horror fading into memory until the aftershock hits. Forced into compromise, we fight among ourselves. Frustration, powerless, rage, anxiety, and a bit of optimism buried in the negative space as we forge ahead into another year or maybe four. I don't know if it was a day of great hope or a day of great relief or both combined, rolled up into Tuesdays and Wednesdays as we mourn and grieve and celebrate, walk our dogs and eat our breakfasts, those of us lucky enough to still be alive. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Puma. That was really great. Thank you so much. So good to hear you. Can't wait to be in the same room as you again.
Definitely.